Everybody, great to see you all on today. And we're now just entered week 7 of the 90-day challenge. And yesterday, I don't know whether you're aware of it or not, but yesterday marked exactly the halfway mark, day 45. So we're now into day 46. So still, you know, this is a great time to really step up and address any things that, you know, are getting in the way for you to perhaps be on track for Reach for the Beach or be on track for going to Ascent next year. All right, so just great to, you know, increase your focus in that area. So we're just going to kick off with some recognition. And we're going to start off with rank advancements. So we've had 2 new director 700s. No, sorry, 2 new directors. We've got Daniel Lopez and Babe Penda. So congratulations to those people. And we've got a new director 300. Well, it looks like we've got 3 of them. So we've got Jamie Lynn, Marie Ireland, and City Samperman. So again, congratulations. It's a great achievement to get to Director 300. You're well and truly on the way. And whatever you did to get to there, just keep doing it. And then you will reach Director 700. And we've got 2 people who advanced to Director 700 last week, Onkar and Marnie Mogg. So, you know, if you're on the call today, fantastic, congratulations. And if you're not, you'll see it on the recording. So, you know, great achievement to all of you. So let's go into the top enrollers for last week. Now we had a 3-way tie for 3rd position, Julie and Sasha, and Judith Gojan and Ivan Boricht. Sorry, I really apologise if my pronunciation is just so wrong there, but that's a 3-way tie, so congratulations. Yeah, getting, you know, obviously there's often quite a bit of work that goes in to actually get them to get people to a point where they are agreeing to, you know, use the product and become an associate or a preferred customer. So, you know, I know how much work it goes into that prior. And then in 2nd place, we had Yu Yan Ting. And in 1st, we had Lisa Chase. So Lisa, well done. I know she's over in the United States, so she may not be on this call right now. So congratulations to all of those people. It's a fantastic result. So let's go into contactors. So the top contactors for last week, we had Lorna and Pam Lobb tie for 4th place. For 3rd, Tanya Branham, and 2nd, Alina Graham. So great work, everybody. It all begins with reaching out to people and sharing the molecules and following up. And then in 1st place, we have Colette Garside. So well done there, Colette. Colette's in the UK, so she's probably not on the call right now. So that's brilliant. So let's just see. Okay, look at this. Fabulous congratulations to Richard Ayoub, who's currently qualified for 2nd place. He's already there. And the prize value is $2,410 US. And what Richard has achieved to date is 20 enrollments plus 7,000 plus in volume. So great result there, Richard. And yeah, I'm sure you'll even move forward into a 1st place. So what Richard has currently earned is a room for 2. So Richard can take, you know, anybody that you know, is a preference for him. Like last year, I took my daughter on a trip. Yeah, you can take a friend, partner, your wife, your husband. It doesn't matter, just anybody of your choice. $1,000 US travel reimbursement. And 250 US of value for gear and product. So congratulations, Richard, if you're on the call. That's brilliant.
Thank you very much.
So this is the leaderboard, how it looks at the moment. And I think Aaron and Kelly are in New Zealand. So you can see as it goes down here where everybody's at. And we move down here. So it's only showing 4 enrollments and upwards. So if you have 2 or 3, you will need to go to, oh, here we go. We've got 3s here. Yep. Okay. So if you're 2, you will notice that that will be on the leaderboard in Genie. So for full details, all of this is in Genie, and we'll go to the next slide in a minute and it'll show you exactly where to find them. But it's really good to know where you're at and what are the numbers to get to a particular prize. So obviously, you know, 4th prize is your first goal, and you know, that's an amazing achievement, and that's 15 plus enrollments, which is just under less than 1 a week. If you were averaging it out, and a total volume of 5,000. So again, that's an average of a weekly volume of 295. So let's just have a look where you would find that in Genie. So go to training, then go to courses, and then you'll see the 90-day challenge is there, and you can just open that up. There's a drop-down box, expand it out, uncollapse it, and you'll see the Reach for the Beach, the qualifications. So just go back and review that for yourself. All right, so obviously this call is on every week, and next week is no exception to that. So that's Monday the 22nd, 12:30 Brisbane time. So now we're going to move into the training portion of the call, and we'll just get up the next PowerPoint for that. I'm just going to check the chat box. Yeah, well done, Richard. Yeah, people are acknowledging Richard. That's fantastic. And my apologies. I thought my phone was on silent. Clearly not. All right. So the training portion for today's call is, should not be there, is going for no. Okay, so I only discovered this book earlier this year, and it's about no being a path to your success rather than limiting your success. So interesting book, and I loved reading it. It was a quick read. I mean, it took me about 5 hours, but most people do it in about 3 hours. And Richard Fenton had an interesting experience early on in his career. And he learned the lesson from his boss at the time on going for no. And like I said, it was really early in his career, and he embraced what he learned. He made a declaration to himself and his wife, and that changed his whole life, recreated his whole future. And that's what his book's all about. So we're going to explore what does this mean in terms of what we're doing with ASEA. And we'll just get these slides to move. Okay. So success in this business begins when we learn to be with a no. But it wasn't always that way. You know what? When we were kids, we weren't stopped by no. Not at all. How many of you have been around, you know, or been around someone with children, or you've got children of a young age, or you've been out with someone, and they will continually ask for something, even in the face of no. They will ask over and over again, Mum, can I have a biscuit? No. 2 seconds later, Mum, I really want that biscuit. No. You know, so we weren't stopped by no when we were children, but kind of that tenacity disappeared. So where did it go? Well, somewhere along the line it disappeared, and it was replaced by fear of rejection. And it doesn't even make sense that 2 letters, N and no, would keep us from realising our dreams. But whether it makes sense or not, it's there for most of us, even if you're not aware of it. But most people are aware that there's some kind of fear that comes up, and if they look underneath that fear, it's a fear of rejection. And getting no is kind of interpreted as, you know, being rejected, and nobody wants to encounter that. So I love the words of Bob Proctor, and that is, we tiptoe through our whole life avoiding no's just to make it safely to death. And that is the truth for most of us. But the word no, it's actually not the word no that stops us. It's what we made it mean that stops us, okay? So what we are hearing when someone says no is some flavour of I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not something enough, or I'm just not enough, and many, many other versions of that. So it's not the no we're really avoiding. It's really the meaning that we gave it. But is that what no really means? No, no. Somebody's just saying it's not for me right now. So what Richard refers to in his book is the model 1, which is the common approach, and that is yes and no are polar opposite, like there's no connection at all between them. And we've all been trained in a yes-no world, yes meaning good, no meaning bad, or yes meaning success, no meaning failure. But then he came up with model 2 because this was his discovery. Just waiting for the internet. And the new model is, in order to get to a yes, you're going to have to encounter some no's. That's just the way life is. So there's no question about it. In fact, if you want to keep inviting, you want to keep inviting till you actually experience a no. Oh, yes, sorry, a no. God, what am I saying here? Right, so, you know, you've got to get through the no's to actually find the yeses. So a good place I find to go for a no in our business is when you're at a point where you're ready to go through enrollment pack selections. Start with the business pack. It's $760 odd. Why don't we start there? It's better to get a no because you might even get a yes. And then if it is a no, you can then move to a personal pack. So what's really interesting about us when we're approaching other people about their spending dollars, we tend to steer people with our own spending constraints. So in other words, if you have, you know, a bit of a fear about you would never have signed up with the business pack, you will tend to steer people towards the personal pack. Start with the business pack. What's the worst that's going to happen? And they're going to say no. So then you move to the other one. So that's a good way to practice going for no in our business. Now, if you're not succeeding fast enough, you're just not getting enough no's. All right? You can't have one without the other. So if you avoid no's, you're also going to avoid yeses. You know, this is often very crippling for us in our business, where we'll just totally won't pick up the phone because we don't want to deal with a no, but it also means we're not going to discover and find those yeses. So that'd be a bit like panning for gold. So it's a good metaphor. You know, if you're panning for gold, how do you find it? Well, you have to sift through a lot of dirt to reveal the gold. And everyone has a piece of gold in them. It's just whether it's their time, and you and possibly them won't even know that unless you invite them to explore what you have on offer. So adopt the mindset, I have a gift to offer. I have a gift. Now here's something really interesting. Maybe you don't even have to worry about a no. When you invite people to check out the redox or invite them to a presentation or inviting them to accept a tool, people have 3 options. They can either say yes, they can say no, or they can say something else. Now, it's a really interesting experiment, and I did this years ago. I actually logged what people said when I invited them to check out not the molecules, it was a previous business. And what I discovered is we don't like receiving a no, and we also don't like giving a no. So most people will say yes or something else. They actually don't say no. They'll even lie to you rather than say no. So, you know, this is a really good example of my favorite definition of fear, and that is false expectations appearing real. Maybe you don't even have to hear the word no, but I really invite you to log what people say when you make those calls, because it's a really interesting discovery. Now, who notices that no is already in the way before you even pick up the phone? You know, does the phone look really heavy? Do you notice that procrastination starts to rise up when you think, oh, you know, it's time to pick up the phone and make those calls? But all of a sudden, those dishes look really attractive. Oh, gosh, I better get those dishes done first. Or, oh, gosh, I better get the ironing done. And somebody might even call you up and go, listen, I'm in the area. How about I pop in for coffee? And you go, oh, love that, you know, because I can make those calls later, right? So you really want to notice when you're putting off those calls, and it usually is there in a form of procrastination. Now, connecting to your why. Why do we have a why? Right, we really need to know and be clear on why is it important for us to share these molecules? Like, and why is that important to you? Because that's what gets you out of bed in the morning, and that's what gets you on the phone, even when you don't want to make those calls, or even when you don't want to connect with people. It's your why. The why is what ignites you and gives you that energy. My favorite is I have a testimonial, and it's a testimonial that somebody shared about what redox has given them in their life. And it moves me to tears. So find that testimonial. And why that works for me is because I ask myself, what would have happened to that person's life if somebody hadn't been courageous and picked up the phone and invited them to check out the molecules? You know, that person may still be in bed, day in, day out, not able to participate in life, not even able to be the mother to her children, or, you know, the practitioner to her community, or the wife to her husband, because she's struggling to get through each day. It's a very moving testimonial for me, and my goodness, does it get me over my, oh, I don't want to make those calls. I just think about that person. So I think that's a really powerful way to do it. You know, and I always just say, if all else fails, smile. Just smile and pick up the phone and start making your calls. It's really, really important. Okay, but what if you did get a no? Did the world end? Did you die? No, you didn't die. How many of you have picked up the phone and invited somebody to something and you got a no? Well, for you guys, ask someone out on a date and you got a no. I mean, you live through it. Everything's absolutely fine. But look, you might get a no. And if you do get a no, just stand up and adopt a positive body posture. That's a beautiful one. Just stand up, move around. Got it. And verbalize, gosh, I'm one person closer to a yes. Now, smile. The smile is really important, so I'm just going to put a little bit more time on that. It could be as easy as that. Now, did you know that smiling, even when you don't want to, reverses chemical physiology and produces happy hormones? Do you know they've done research with depressed people who suffer with depression, and they had them walk around with a pen in their mouth, just like that? Because when you put a pen in your mouth, it actually activates the muscles that you use when you smile. And they found when they had a pen in their mouth, it was impossible for them to be present or be experiencing that depression. Whoops, somebody's drawing on my screen. Now, tapping. For those of you who actually understand tapping, know tapping, like it, tapping removes stress from the body. Use it and keep going. Brad Yates has, he's got a fabulous website. Connect with that. He's got 70 5-minute tapping sequence. There's something for everybody, something for every situation. Another suggestion, connect with your mentor and do a 5-minute debrief and keep going. you know, one day I had an experience with someone, it really knocked me around, and I actually rang Bobby in the United States and said, Bobby, and he goes, you know, 2 seconds, he had me back on the horse, so to speak. I just needed to debrief with someone. Now, you don't have to ring somebody in America because we've got people here. You know, ring your upline, ring the person you work with, ring your mentor, get debriefed and get cracking again. Now, if you do get a no, honour that no, because it's all about honouring the relationship. You know, and what is your commitment to another human being? It's being of service, right? So turn a no into an empowering context. It needs to be empowering for you and for them, because occasionally you are going to get that no. And by leaving them empowered, you're going to strengthen why you do what you do. And you also want them to remember you, because if their circumstances change in the future, you want them to feel that they're going to pick up that phone and call you. And people don't know what's around the corner. We don't know what's around the corner for them. And you could say something like this, like, thanks, I really appreciate your investment of time and listening today. And I get that it's not for you right now. And you want to really be authentic about that, because they feel that. They feel the authenticity. And, you know, you could also say something like this as well, in addition, and you just have to get a gut feeling for this. Thanks, I really appreciate your investment in time. Sorry, no, what I want to say is, so what you could say to them is, look, here's a suggestion. What I would love to do, if it works for you, is add you to a Facebook group where people share their experiences with the Redox products, because you never know down the track who you might meet that you can help through knowing this information. Now, most people are in agreement to being added to the Renew with Redox group. And the power of that is, you know, they're going to get a reminder every day or regularly about Redox. And if their circumstances change or something happens to them or in their family, they are able to plug in and be connected back to you. So what if no had stopped them? You know, these are some of the greats. There's plenty of them around. These are just a few that I noted for this training today. But look at this one. 2 years driving across the USA with his chicken recipe. He was turned down 1,009 times before somebody accepted what it was that he was really passionate about. So you all know who that is. 1,009 times. I mean, that's extraordinary. So there's always someone waiting to hear your story. And, you know, I hope by now that you've come to realise that it's only yours, our crazy fear of hearing the word no, that stands between you and us and greatness. So be bold, be courageous. You have nothing to lose, and your dreams are out there waiting. So don't let no stand between you and your dreams. Don't let no stand between you and Reach for the Beach or joining us in Ascent next year. Get out there and just know that no is not no. It's just a word that people say. It doesn't mean whatever you think, whatever you've made it mean. And most of the time we're not even aware we've made it mean something. So my intention with this training is that you create that awareness that, gosh, you know, I notice, and you'll know how you feel, that you kind of feel like, oh, you know, something negative has just happened. But again, just change your physiology by smiling, debrief, positive body language, and just get back out there again. And remember those people out there that have shared their extraordinary stories, and some of them have been introduced to Redox by you on this call, and you know the difference that you've made to those people. So, you know, just keep getting out there, work through the no's so you can get to the yeses and change people's lives, because I know that's what you're committed to and that's what you're passionate about. We've got 5 minutes to go. I'm just going to invite any of you that want to share something about your week or share something about the training or something you discovered about no. to just take us up to the 1 p.m.'s time slot. All quiet. There's David. Yeah, it's who's noticed that no gets in the way for them? Who's noticed that when they think, oh, tomorrow I'm going to make my calls between 10 and 11, and all of a sudden other things become more important at 10 o'clock? Yeah, exactly. It happens to me. Hey, and you know what's really interesting? I'm going to share this with you. It doesn't go away. It doesn't stop. It's just there to notice and pick up the phone anyway. It's always going to be there. It's just that you don't let it stop you. All right. And the more practice we get at noticing it and just getting on the phone anyway, the quicker we cut through that. So it's there to notice your procrastination, to notice that, there's some fear getting in the way, and fear is like, oh, if I don't know the answer, or if I can't converse with them in relationship to a question, I might look stupid. Again, it's all just fear, but we don't need to worry about that, because we just then connect up we do a 3-way. We go, great question. I'm going to get Marion on the phone. I'm going to get Jen or Janette on the phone, like whoever it is. You just connect with people who can answer those questions. All right, we'll get out there. Have a magnificent week 7. And I really look forward to joining you all next Monday at 12:30. And for all of you incredible team leaders and your commitment and dedication to the people you're working with, have an extraordinary week. And, love to you all. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
I might unmute you all. Can I do that more? No, maybe just, I can't work out how to do that. Maybe just unmute yourselves.
Thank